Okay, new chapter, 4-1, factors and monomials. So a factor are just the products in a multiplication problem. So products are numbers that are being multiplied together. So let's look at this example and we'll talk about it. So these are the factors, the two numbers that we are multiplying together. And then the answer that we get from multiplying those together is called the product. All right, so factors are the numbers you're multiplying together. And divisible just means it can be divided evenly. If a number is divisible, you can divide it evenly into a larger number. So my example for this one would be 35 is divisible by 7. Because we can divide 35 by 7, and what do we get? 5. All right, and monomial is just a number, a variable, or a combination of numbers and variables. So it's also called a term. So we're going to write that. It can be called a term. And an example of some monomials would be if we just had a number, like 4. That's a monomial. So does anybody know what mono means? Yeah. Yes, it is, but it also means one. Mono means one. So when we're talking about a monomial, we are talking about one term. A monomial could also be a variable that's just sitting there by itself. Or a monomial could be a combination of numbers and variables, like 5x squared y. Okay, even though there's a lot going on there, it's one thing. So now I'm going to show you a couple of examples of what are not monomials so you can see the difference. Okay, so a monomial is not something that has a plus sign or a minus sign. That will not be a monomial. So if you have, these are not monomials. Okay, so anything with a plus or minus sign, no. If it's just a group of terms by themselves or being multiplied together, then it will be a monomial. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the divisibility rules. A number is divisible by 2 if the ones digit is divisible by 2. So write this down. So here's my example for this one, 54. So we're just going to look at the ones place. Remember the ones place is the one on the far right. Is 4 divisible by 2? In other words, can you do 4 divided by 2 evenly?
Yes.
Yes. So because 4 is divisible by 2, we can say that this whole number, 54, is divisible by 2. All right, and we could even if that number was longer, what if it was like 1,354? Because the ones place is divisible by 2, the whole number can be divided by 2. All right, for the number 3, a number is divisible by 3 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. So let's look at what that means. My example for this one would be 72. So remember, sum of the digits. Sum means to add. So if I add 7 plus 2, I get what? 9. And can you divide 9 evenly by 3? Yes. So this number, 72, is divisible by 3 because when I add all its digits up, that is divisible by 3. We did one more example, 543. If I add all the digits up, 5 plus 4 plus 3, I get 12. And can 12 be divided by 3 evenly? Yes, it can. So 543 would be divisible by 3. A number is divisible by 5 if the ones digit is a 0 or a 5. So let's look at a couple of examples. 65. Is the ones place a 0 or a 5? Yes. So this is divisible by 5. If we had 6,820, look at the ones place. Is the ones place a 0 or a 5? Yes, so that would be divisible by 5 also. So as long as the number ends with a 0 or 5, it is divisible by 5. Okay, a number is divisible by 6 if the number is divisible by 2 and 3. It has to be divisible by both 2 and 3 in order to be divisible by 6. So our example is going to be 48. So is 48 divisible by 2? Evenly. What does it equal? 44. Good. And can we divide 48 by 3 evenly? What is it? It's 16. So because it could divide evenly by both 2 and 3, we say yes, it is divisible by 6. Okay. Okay, last divisibility rule. A number is divisible by 10 if the number ends in 0. If there's a 0 in the ones place. So, for example, 50. Is there a 0 in the ones place? Yes. So it is divisible by 10. What if I had 3,466,220? Yes, because as soon as that ones place has a 0 in it, it's divisible by 10. Use divisibility rules to determine whether each number is divisible by 2, 3, 5, 6, or 10. So these are all the rules I just gave you. Okay, those are the 5 numbers I just gave you. So we got to see if each one is divisible by 2, 3, 5, 6, or 10. So divisibility rule for 2 is that what? So if it's divisible by 2, then the ones place is divisible by 2. Is the ones place in this problem divisible by 2? No. So is this number divisible by 2? Can we divide 53 by 2? No. What about 3? What's the divisibility rule for 3? Add the numbers.
8.
So 5 plus 3 is 8. Is that divisible by 3? No. So that one doesn't work either. What about 5? What's the rule for 5? Does it end in a 0 or a 5? No.
6.
6. What's the rule for 6?
If the number is divisible by 2 and 3.
Okay. Is the number divisible by 2? No, we already said that. And look up here. Is it divisible by 3? No, we already looked at those two and they were both x's. So it's not divisible by 6 either. And is it divisible by 10? Does it end in 0? Okay, so this number is prime. It is not divisible by any numbers. Okay, prime means you can only multiply 1 and 53 to get that number. Is the ones place divisible by 2?
Yes.
Yes. So it is divisible by 2. For divisible by 3, add the digits.
No. It's not.
And see if it divides by, so 11. Does 11 divide by 3? No. For 5, does it end in a 0 or 5? No. For 6, is it divisible by 2 and 3?
Wait, hold up.
Just look back here to the 2 and 3 that we already did. Is it divisible by 2 and 3? No, it's only divisible by 2. It has to be divisible by both to be divisible by 6. And 10, does it end in a 0?
Yes.
Does this number 146 end in a 0?
No.
No. Okay. Divisible by 2. Is 6 divisible by 2? Yes. Divisible by 3. Add up all the digits and see if it can be divided by 3. So 8 plus 7 is 15, and 15 plus 6 is 21. Is 21 divisible by 3? Yeah. So 3 works. Does it end in a 0 or a 5? Nope. Is it divisible by 2 and 3?
Yes.
Look, we have a check by 2 and 3 this time. So that means it's divisible by 6.
Still don't make sense.
Okay, I'll try something else. And does it end in a 0? No. Last example for today. So, is 0 divisible by 2? What?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know the difference between right or wrong.
0 divided by 2 is just 0. So that would work. Is it divisible by 3? So let's add up the digits. What's 3 plus 0 plus 5 plus 0? 8. Does 8 divide by 3 evenly? No. So 6 is automatically out. Does it end in a 0 or a 5? Yes. Does it end in a 0? Oh, we already said that. So those are the numbers that would be divisible by 3,050. And that's all for today. We're going to have to do a little more of the video tomorrow so I can do a couple more examples on factoring for you.